Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. I'm listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. Glad to have with us friend, colleague, and does a wonderful job and so many things, finance expert Richard Tassiello, president and founder of Retirement Strategies Group. Always good to see you, Rich.
Hey, thank you, Drew.
And this conversation, I will guarantee you, will devolve into us bashing the UCLA basketball program. So if you guys can hang tight for the next 5 hours, that would be good as we break down what's happened to our friends and all this. We're honored, Rich, to be joined by just two stellar San Diego State journalism, media studies folks. My co-host is Jacob Saletta. He's also a host of the campus radio station. How you doing there, Jacob?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
This is podcast number 2 for you.
Let's do it.
Right? And you're joined by your colleague, Allison Reboletto. She is also a student in Dave Oates' class. And what year are you, Allison?
I am a senior.
A senior. Very good. Are you graduating in May?
I am, yes.
Congratulations. What are you going to do?
Oh, that is a crazy question. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, we'll see where the wind takes me.
Are you going to stay in media, you think?
I would like to. I am a marketing student, so
nice.
Yeah.
Good. Then you can have a conversation with my business partner and founder and CEO, Charles Parisi of Cloudcast Media. Charles came out of the womb marketing, and he would actually be the first person to admit that as well. We're going to start off with you, Jacob, asking a question of Rich.
Yeah, absolutely, Rich. First question right off the bat, what is the mission of your organization?
Thank you, Jacob, and welcome to your second official podcast. I think I've got you beat by one. This is my third time. Third time attendee, Spotlight of the Community.
We're both figuring this out.
We're figuring it out together, so I like it. The mission of our organization is, and Drew knows this, I've chatted with him a number of times, is our approach is we really try to keep things simple. So our theme is retirement made simple, and our approach in working with clients, both individuals and small businesses, is we speak a language that they can understand. So our whole approach is always making retirement as simple as possible, speaking in a language that they're going to understand, and getting them to do the things they need to do to have a successful retirement.
You know, and one of the things, Rich, you and I talk about this all the time. You've got daughters. I've got Sammy is going to be, my 31-year-old is getting married in June and teaches at in Poway Unified School District, Chaparral Elementary. And she's tired of Dad saying this stuff here. Maybe she needs to hear it from you, Rich. You are never too young to start saving.
Drew, you couldn't say it any better. So as Drew mentioned, I do have 3 daughters, and Drew in the opening mentioned UCLA. So my oldest and my youngest are UCLA graduates, and my middle daughter graduated from UC Davis outside of Sacramento. So obviously we're big Bruin fans in our household, having 2 daughters graduate from there. But to Drew's point, we love sitting down with younger folks. So the work we do in the corporate retirement space is we spend most of our time working with folks between 25 and 35 years old, and showing that if you start early, even if it's just a little bit, what that adds up to 30, 35 years down the line. And we show that to them, we illustrate it for them, and we're really trying to train their behavioral mindset to start saving early.
Well, it's a math issue, and literally, if you think about it, so here, Allison and Jacob in their early 20s, I imagine. Listen, you start saving when you're 10 years old, obviously, with the parents, and you're the math guy on this. If you just even put X amount when you're 10, and then you forgot about it, okay, man, when you hit 58 or whatever it is, that's going to be a nice little bit of pot of cash. Why don't people do that?
It's true. Is everybody defers. They can't see 30, 40 years down the line, right? And they rather spend their money today going out to the movies, going out with friends, having drinks. So what we do is we try to shift that mindset. And usually when I'm doing a presentation to young folks, how I open it is I say, hey, who has a cell phone in the room? And of course, every single person's hand goes up. And I said, what happens if you don't pay your cell phone bill for the next 3 months? Somebody will raise their hand and say, well, they'll disconnect my cell phone. And I'll say, it's the same thing in retirement. If you don't fund your retirement, we're going to disconnect you from living a comfortable retirement in the future. So we try to talk that type of language, and then young folks get it. They understand it. They got to pay themselves first.
Right. I'll ask Allison this and then pivot over to Jacob, put you on the spot. How good are you at saving money, Allison?
I could do better for sure. I started saving with my first job when I was 16.
Nice.
I wish it was more consistent, but yeah.
But at least you have it. And I think, and how about you, Jacob?
Oh, I'm the worst.
Okay.
I'm awful.
Okay. So guess what? Rich is going to have a conversation with you after the interview.
Oh, please.
And in all seriousness, what we talk about, and we work with our good friends at Mission Fed Credit Union, the sponsor of the show, the current CEO, Doug Wright, who used to be the CFO, and he'd always come on and talk about, it doesn't make a difference how much the money is. If it's $10 a month, which seems like it can't have an impact, here's what $10 a month looks like for 30 years. Okay. What? That's it? Yeah, that means, you don't go to Starbucks, a few times. And Rich, you hit something that is really important, and I think our audience would love it. It's changing the behavior. You're not saying you have to sit there and live off mac and cheese, which I do anyway. This is obviously why I look like this. But I mean, if you go ahead and save something, still do the things you need to do. You got to pay your cell phone bill and all that, but you should save something. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Drew, to your point, we show in numbers folks starting in their young 20s, putting away a little bit of money, like Drew's mentioning, just $10, $20 a month, versus somebody at 45 years old starting and putting away a lot of money, $500 a month. That person at 25 putting away a little, at age 65 has more money than the person at age 45 putting away a lot bigger contribution. And when you see that math in front of you, it motivates you as a young person to say, I can easily find $20 a month to put away in my retirement, and set it, forget it, and let time work for you.
Right. And I think, in that aspect of it. Now, do you advise, so everybody is different. I know, Rich, you're very personal. It's all about relationships. It's made your business very, very successful because it's not what Rich wants to do. It's what the individual needs are. Talk about how you actually ask those questions, and you're going to sit there and tailor it based on whatever Allison's needs are or Jacob's needs are, not what Rich's needs are.
No, great question, Drew. And it's all about somebody's lifestyle and where they want to be in retirement, right? So our job as advisors is not to make you rich. That's your job in your working years, to find what you're passionate about, where you want to work, and make as much money as possible. Our job is to sit down and understand your goals. Hey, where do you see yourself in 30 years? Where do you want to live? What community do you want to be in? And we'll help you achieve that lifestyle security through the work you're doing to where you make money, and share with you how much money you got to put away to continue that lifestyle of retirement.
When we come back from break, I want to talk a little bit about the different types of retirement plans, IRAs and 401ks and all this. Are Allison and Jacob too young to start doing this stuff? And the answer is you can't see this through the internet. Well, actually you can. We do YouTube shorts over here. Maybe we did get a picture of Rich shaking his head on that. We'll talk about that as well. I want to talk about the Roth, okay, which is, this is just great advice on this. And then, save some time is that what we can do to support what you're doing, getting the word out. You're very community oriented, and we very much appreciate that as well. One of the cool things about saving money now is that when you're at retirement age, you can actually give back. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to wait till your retirement age to give back. You can do that when we return with Rich Tassiello. He is the president and founder of Retirement Strategies Group. Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by the amazing folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for people in San Diego County, whether it's the arts, financial literacy, it's the homeless, Alzheimer's, food insecurity. They are just absolutely knee-deep in everything, joined by my co-hosts. We got 2 co-hosts today, Jacob Saletta, SDSU JMS student and radio host for the campus radio station there. Joined by Allison Rebellato. She is also a student, and their colleagues in David Oates' PR class. We'll be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Just so pleased to have in the house with us Rich Tassiello, president and founder of Retirement Strategies Group, colleague of mine. And Rich, you always give some great advice, and I'm going to encourage our audience, if you haven't thought about this, get on it immediately. Joined by 2 really cool co-hosts from San Diego State, Jacob Saletta and Allison Rebellato. They're both in Dave Oates' JMS class. Jacob, another question for Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. As someone that's absolutely the worst at saving, we just got that out of there. Talk to me about some retirement plans, 401ks, IRAs, any of that.
Sure. So for a 401k plan, you have to be part of a company that offers a 401k, right? And some folks, they're solo entrepreneurs and they're not part of a company without a 401k plan. Yeah. So there's another strategy where you can save called an IRA, and Drew was just alluding to it. There's 2 types of IRAs. There's a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. And by the way, IRA stands for individual retirement account, so not sponsored by an employer. A pre-tax IRA, the traditional IRA, any contributions you make, you get a tax deduction today. So you don't pay taxes on the money you put in. You let that grow for 20, 30, 40 years. And when you take receipt of those dollars in the future, you pay taxes. The Roth IRA that I know Drew's very passionate about, one of the things I really want to talk about today and some unique strategies in that approach. The Roth IRA, you're investing money. You don't get a tax deduction today, so no deduction. But that money you put in and all of the growth for many years comes out tax-free retirement. So it's always important when we're sitting down with somebody, you want to have 2 buckets of money. You want to have some taxable monies and some tax-free monies so you can design a favorable retirement in the future and where to pull money.
So for the IRA, if you, we'll say that they're going to start now. Right after this show, both Jacob and Allison are going to pool their money and invest $5. No, they'll do more than that, of course. And they wanted to start now at 22 and put money into a Roth. Okay, and we'll just say $100 a month. Sure. Okay, and you're the math guy. I know you're already thinking about what the answer is. $100 a month, beginning at age 22. ballpark, based on how the market has been going or however they haven't invested, what would they have at 60?
Literally, I'm going to do math in my head, Drew, because I've done this math before. You will have north of $1 million by starting at 22 at $100 contribution. Now, there is one caveat. To make IRA contributions, you do need to have earned income. So you can't make an IRA contribution unless you are employed in some fashion, whether it's self-employed or through an employer.
Yeah.
Then you can make an IRA contribution. So in 2026, the maximum contribution is $7,500 for an individual contribution. So
For the year.
For the year. So
Right.
if you make $7,500 or more, you could put in $7,500.
Wow.
Right. But, you're not limited by how little you can put in, okay? But you are limited by how much you can put on this. But you do the math. I wish I was doing this. I wish there was a Rich when I was around, for God's sake. Be pretty good to sit there and say, just trust me, the years go fast, okay? They're fun, they're cool and all that, but you'll blink, enjoy the life and all that, but you'll get there. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes, Rich, people make, is that is 3-4 decades down the road. And then you turn around and you go, I'm here. It's going to be here, correct?
It's going to be here quick. And Drew, I'm turning 53 next month, and I still feel like should be 25 years old.
Yeah.
But shared with you, I've got 3 daughters in their 20s, and it's here for me. I get to start taking distribution in 7 years from now.
Talk about the Roth and
Yes.
your strategy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Drew. So a couple of caveats as well with IRAs. Once you start making some really good income, our government's complicated things so much where if you make a lot of money, you're not eligible to make an IRA contribution. It makes no sense to me, and people have been fighting that legislation forever, but the government handcuffs you if you make a lot of money, no contribution. About 12 years ago.
I'm sorry, Rich, what's that number?
The limit is about so for a joint, if you're husband and wife, 200. If you make more than $250,000, you're not eligible for a Roth or a pre-tax IRA. You get no deduction, nor can you do a Roth.
Wow. Okay.
In 2006, it was introduced to allow employers to add a Roth contribution to your 401k plan. And the benefit of that is those income thresholds go out the window. You could make $1 million a year and still participate in your company's 401k into their Roth bucket. So the contribution limits at the employer side is $24,500. So you can put $24,500 of your own money into the Roth bucket if you're a high income earner. In addition to that, and this is what I'm really excited to talk about today, Drew, for our viewers, because it's not well known, but there is also what's called a mega backdoor Roth contribution where you can actually this year put up to $72,000 into a Roth through your employer. Now, there's some specifics that have to be met by the plan to allow you to do that, and I'll share that with you. So I just mentioned you could put away $24,500 of your own money. If your plan allows what's called after-tax contributions on top of that, so your plan needs to allow you to put in after-tax contributions, you could put away another $47,500 up to the $72,000 max. And your plan also needs to allow what's called an in-plan conversion. So you make those deposits, you immediately recharacterize that $47,000 to your Roth bucket, and now you have $72,000. And it is a powerful tool for high income earners to really get a lot of money into that Roth bucket.
But if you're not making that money, okay, and you want to do a portion of that, the bottom line is you still can do that, correct?
That is correct. You can do any portion. You kept mentioning throwing around, doing $10, $50 a month, right? And that's what we encourage for some of the younger folks is put a budget together. Think about how you're going to pay yourself first. And, to Drew's point, it is hard to put away money thinking, hey, I'm not going to touch this for 30 years. But if you set it up like it's a bill you have to pay every month and get into that mindset, you will start making that contribution every month.
Well, it's a math issue. I mean, you you can't deny the math. You will have this money when you hit that level. Jacob, a question.
Yeah. First of all, it sounds like you're going to make me a millionaire. So I appreciate that. Right. So I want to know a little bit more about your experience. Tell me a story that makes you the most proud of your organization.
Great. Thank you for that question. So, and I have many come to mind.
Yeah.
Asking that question, right? But I would say that the one that really comes to mind is got a call not too long ago from somebody I started my firm in 2004, by the way, so 22 years ago.
Okay.
And one of the first 401k plans that I started managing in 2005, I was working with this young lady. The founder of Cloudcast knows her. Her name is Sandra.
Okay.
And she started putting money away with me in the mid-2000s. She recently called me up. Now she's mid-40s. This was 20 years ago. And she said, Richard, I just wanted to personally call you and thank you. The little bit of contribution I made 20 years later, I have a $500,000 retirement account that I could have never imagined having if you didn't push me to start investing 22 years ago.
Yeah, and I think, to the point of that, and there's probably 75,000 others of these, you don't have to have Bill Gates money to do this. I'm not going to turn down Bill Gates money, but I mean, that's the point, in that area. So I'll ask both you, Jacob and Allison, and obviously, sometimes it's up to the parents to encourage the kids to do this. Like Rich, certainly his daughters didn't have a choice because they had to listen to him because of the business he's in. But through your studies at SDSU, are you given any advice? I'll start with you on this, Allison. Do anyone sit down with you? Any groups on campus that say, here's how you can save money?
So my sister is 10 years older than me, so she's pretty ahead. And one of the first things that she told me to do when I started my first job was put away some money. So I set up like an account where I had an automatic deposit. So it would just put away money for me. I don't even have to think about it. And I think that's why I have a bit of success in saving.
Good, because you're ready to retire soon?
Yeah.
At age 23. I'm very bitterly
Hopefully.
jealous of that. So Jacob, I know you were saying that you haven't quite done it yet, but obviously when you hear these stories, there's absolutely no reason not to.
Oh, there's a bigger incentive. Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to go home right now, put a little bit more money into my savings account. I promise you that. But no, I don't think any campus partners really talk to you enough about that. And that's kind of disappointing. Maybe it's because I'm in the journalism field or anything. But I think it's something that absolutely needs to be highlighted. I do have two fantastic parents that do definitely hammer that in. So don't get me wrong there. But I think coming from especially campus partner wise, I think it's a little bit in the dust, and that's something that needs to be highlighted a little bit more.
Yeah, and maybe you guys can be advocates on that because it certainly pays off. So Rich, our listeners hearing all these stories and say, all right, we need to sit down and chat with Rich, or, obviously you're on the show over here. How'd they get a hold of you?
Sure. Thank you, Drew. Yeah. So our website is retirementstrategiesgroup.com. We're currently in 6 states now. So we've grown since the last time I sat down with you 2 years ago, Drew. So we're in 6 states. We manage north of $2 billion around the country with between, again, individuals and small businesses and growing. We're growing 15, 20% a year.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Are you hiring?
We are always looking for talented young people, Drew. Absolutely.
Right. They understand numbers, correct?
Correct.
Right. Exactly. And maybe I'll be too late for me to switch my degree, probably in that aspect of it. But in all seriousness, and I wanted to chat about this, obviously it sets you up for retirement, down the road. But it also enables you to really support those things you're passionate with, because now you've got the resources to do it. Like, talk about some of your community outreach.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're very active and very quietly active, I would say. We're very modest, but we're very active with working with youth, supporting youth organizations, supporting our church. I'm born and raised Catholic, and so we support a lot of the Catholic charities. So we do things, again, quietly, but very supportive of youth and our faith.
Well, and I think the point of it is it's always nice when you're working with groups, certainly nonprofits, as we're hearing today, and you're hearing more today, love volunteers. There's an absolute monetary aspect you can put to a volunteer per how many hours they work. But listen, most nonprofits make no money. There's, depending on which study you're looking at, there's 10 to 13,000 of them in San Diego County. anything. They may have for $500, that's their entire office supply bill. But if you're able to sit there and you've saved money, you've got some disposable income to support it, that is huge. So, Rich, any other advice? I mean, this has been great for all of our listeners. Doesn't make a difference how old you are, or for those people who are ready to start a family, get going on it. What else can we do?
Yeah, I want to tie back to the charitable conversation, Drew, because it is another, Jacob, you asked me a good question. What's one thing I'm proud of? And I told you many things came to mind, and I want to share one other one.
Yeah.
Met with a client last Friday who's in her young 70s, and when you're in your young 70s, the IRS forces you now. You have to start taking distribution from your retirement accounts. And this woman, Alice, is in a position where she doesn't need the distribution. She's done a great job planning, saving her entire career.
Yeah.
And we sat down and I shared with her a strategy where she can take that distribution and actually donate it to charity tax-free. So instead of paying taxes on that distribution, she was able to reallocate it to her charity. So,
yeah, and I think how much you have to take? Is it 73?
73 years old now. Now it used to be 70 and a half, and the IRS keeps increasing the age. For most of us, it'll be age 75 when we're forced to start taking money out.
How much you have to take out?
It's percentage based, so it's based on a life expectancy chart. So where it starts is about a 4% distribution, and that increases every year.
Okay, so whatever I have in my IRA, I'm thinking about this. I gotta wait till I hit 73, but not that far. All right, so then it's whatever's in there. I got to take 4% of that out.
Correct, and it'll increase every year. Every year it'll be a higher percentage because you're closer to the angels taking you away, Drew. So
I'm going to live to 140 just to spite them, for God's sake.
There we go.
That's what I'm going to do. No, I want to do the math for our listeners up here. So if you have $500,000, okay, and you're at 73 at this point, you got to be taking out, what, $20,000?
About $20,000.
$20,000. And you do that, you'll be taxed on that $20,000 unless you have a business you can write it off on, correct?
Or unless you decide to make a charitable donation to a nonprofit, you can redirect those funds to a charity you're passionate about. And the IRS forgives taxes on that distribution.
Right, exactly. All right, better start saving some money on that one over there. Rich, always a pleasure talking to you. Again, what's the website if people want to get a hold of you?
Retirementstrategiesgroup.com.
Very, very good. Allison, and how'd you enjoy your, was this your first podcast co-hosting?
It is my first podcast. This has been amazing. I've learned a lot. I think I'm going to skip my morning coffee more often.
Very good.
It adds up. Jacob, what do you think? You got 2 down now, 4 to go.
Oh, I'm so stoked. I love this. Thank you for making me a millionaire. I really appreciate it. I definitely will be reaching out. But yeah, this has been a lifetime. This has been so awesome. I cannot even put this into words.
Just great advice for almost anybody. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Thank you much, Rich Tassiello, Retirement Strategies Group. Look that up on the website. Some great advice. And certainly you'll be happy you've done so. And you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things in the community. And to our listeners, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.